Good morning and welcome to another episode of the Daily Sword of the Andrew Turner. I'm Andrew Turner. We have a life update. This one's going to be a little lengthy. I have my Papa Bear coffee mug, which is appropriate because I'm sorry I haven't been putting episodes up, but I'm really not that sorry because Andrew John Turner Jr. was born, and I want to do a kind of a week recap if possible. Uh, my boy was born about a week ago. Last Wednesday, the 19th, my wife had pretty severe contractions going into the afternoon and into the evening. Initially, she was not dilated enough to be admitted. And then suddenly she went from 3 centimeters to 6 centimeters. I have like a ridiculous amount of pride in my warrior wife who was fighting through the contractions. And then there was an epidural that brought her some relief. That process is just insane. Her water broke, and through that, we learned that there was meconium in the amniotic fluid. Meconium is a fancy word for, I guess it's like the poop sack. That's where the poop is. So we were told that there would be a NICU team that would be present for the delivery. We know now that there might be a couple of extra people in the room when he arrived, but we had absolutely no idea what was going to happen next. And now into Thursday, early morning, this is literally the strongest woman I've ever met for sure or ever seen. She pushed for more than 2 hours. She stalled at 7 centimeters through early Thursday morning. We hit that 10 centimeter mark. That's apparently where we start pushing, and eventually getting to push, watching that grit, um, her determination, her focus and strength. There were methods she was using under the knee method. There was some bearing down and using handles. There was even a tug of war where they took a sheet with knots on both ends and did a tug of war. My son AJ was crowning. Through that whole process, oddly enough, I did not pass out. I thought for sure I was going to be weak in the knees, but I did not pass out. Finally, hearing and realizing he is here, my boy is here. So I've always known Christine was super strong, but that night and into that morning, I watched her strength in an entirely different way. She was truly an absolute warrior. And then we get into Thursday morning, actual birth time, 7:30. My boy comes out at 7'11", 7 pounds, 11 ounces, 21 and a half inches long, big boy. And then what should have been the most joyful moment of our lives turned into, and the atmosphere turned into in that particular room, changed dramatically. I was able to cut the cord, didn't pass out on that, super stoked. They rushed him to the corner to be with the neonatal team. Instead of my wife holding our son for the first time, I'm looking across the room at our newborn surrounded by doctors and tubes and oxygen and little squishy things up his nose and all these different things and machines. Then we moved to about probably 10 to 15 minutes later. So we're like 7:45 in the morning. This is where everything kind of slowed down. Like you get that record scratch and deafening silence. Overwhelming kind of like tunnel vision silence, and I would call it unwanted silence. There was just in general in this situation, we saw and were able to see that thinnest line between life and death, between glory and terror. You just watch your son be born, or I was able to watch his son be born. And just a few moments later, we hear we have to bring him back. So my instinct is to say, whoa, 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 wait, 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 wait. Um, Mom hasn't even held him yet. And it hit, reality sets in and hits, and they have to actually take him. So my wife is hurting. She's crying. I'm standing, uh, soaking my dress shirt with tears. Yes, I did dress up. I had my best on to meet my son, so I dressed up. My shirt was soaked with dripping tears. And as a control freak, which some of us are, um, I realized literally at that moment that I have absolutely no control whatsoever. Um, there is a spiritual side to this for sure that becomes enormous. It's not manufactured. It's not I wasn't able, or I'm not going to do a series of here's 3 Christian lessons I learned from my son being in the NICU unit. It just literally is raw, uh, understanding that we're in a moment when all you can do is surrender the person that you love most in the world into uh, into hands that you don't control, and ultimately thank God, into the hands of God. AJ had been aspirating amniotic fluid containing the meconium uh, during that delivery, and he needed immediate respiratory care. So, um, this is again Thursday about 8 a.m. I'm giving you kind of the play-by-play. Post delivery, we have cleanup in the room. They're cleaning in the room. They're cleaning my wife. They're taking the placenta and all that kind of stuff away. And then we have a nurse. We'll call her Daisy, because I'm not going to tell her your real name. Uh, she encouraged us to sit back, try our best to get some rest, much needed rest for being up most of the night. Thursday about 10:30, this angel uh, of a nurse comes in and says he's ready for mom and dad to visit. So we pack up everything to be moved to the postpartum room. And then one of the scariest walks in for my wife, a wheelchair ride of our lives. We've got no clue what's going on, what condition he's in. Um, there literally is fear in every single step. We arrive, and AJ, he has a breathing tube. He's got, for what we find out is for pressure support with breathing, a feeding tube in his mouth going down his throat, and then 2 IVs for different reasons. I think one was saline and one was antibiotic. So seeing your son connected to all of these contraptions, quite humbling indeed. Really uh, fearfully humbling. Medical team explains that breath, his breath or breathing is pretty weak, and that the breathing machine is helping provide pressure. It's not giving a higher percentage of oxygen. We learned that the oxygen and that he was breathing same percentage that's in the air, so that was a blessing for sure. The machine was helping him breathe more effectively, adding some pressure. Excuse me. As you might expect, excuse me, as you might expect, definitely tears, joy, fear, um, a form of relief, as well as we're in complete helplessness there. And somehow there is an overwhelming, unexplained peace. And that's that peace that I've talked about multiple times on here over, I don't know, 60, almost 70 um, episodes and videos, that Philippians 4:7, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. So um, there was a empowering, deep peace, even though everything wasn't fixed. He's still in the NICU, my little man. Tubes are attached. We weren't even allowed to hold him at that point, but there was such a deep, a profound sense of God being in control and peace that we felt through that. So that I've read and I've taught and I've referred to and I've gone to Philippians 4:7 many times in my life and talked about that peace and tried to understand that peace that surpasses all understanding. But in that moment, I was and had the blessing to really experience and live that firsthand. The peace referred to there in Philippians 4:7. So at that point, we still unable to hold him. We got to see AJ, but again, couldn't hold him. And we stood there, not being able to hold him on either side of him, caressing, touching his little frame, kneeling kind of eye level best we can, talking and loving on him as best we can. Um, uh, and just trying to say, Mom and Dad are here, and we're going to be here through this entirety. So I have pictures from those pictures. Looking back, uh, what was it? Hindsight's 2020. Looking back, are um, difficult to even look at. Um, but I'm happy I have those pictures. But I would say, with all the tubes and everything, you really don't wish that on anybody, any parent. Um, there is something uh, devastating and weighty about meeting your son, your little man, and not being able to pick him up. Uh, then we are, after that, again, I'm giving play by play of a couple of days here. We are escorted to the postpartum room where we kind of unloaded, unpacked. We're told to get some rest again. You don't really rest when your baby is 2 medical units or departments away. So if like physically we're in a room, but mentally and spiritually we're back in the NICU for sure. Um, and then we have kind of a chapter, I guess you would call it, people, our people showing up for us. So God really often can carry us through his people. So we have familial support became key and a huge source of support. People visited, they brought food, they sat with us, they broke up the monotony, they broke up the fear, the exhaustion. Just as a couple of examples, Christine's sister, her twin sister, brought some sushi. We love sushi. Christine loves sushi. So I have great pictures of Christine sitting with sushi in her. So it was a small thing, but a huge blessing in the middle of what was quite chaotic for sure. Same time frame. My sister-in-law brings coffee, not just regular coffee. My favorite coffee from Oasis. It was the large cappuccino, and I enjoyed that immensely. Another shout out to my mother. Uh, she really should have been a nurse. She should have been a doula. Another word I learned. I was like, doula, what is that? Um, she was a superstar during the birth. Huge support to Christine. A blessing during that birthing process. Kind of talking her through um, breathing and everything like that. So then there's everyone else, like the dads. My father, I know, was in the waiting room, and mother-in-law at home, and our siblings, other siblings, and extended family, and close friends and family. Prayers. I've got to say that the prayers were felt um, dramatically. Like, can't explain that. That's part of where the peace that surpasses all understanding comes from. Um, that we have prayer warriors on our side for sure, that We felt the love, we felt the prayers, we felt every visit, we felt every text, we felt every phone call that kind of buttressed or supported us in this moment. So, um, again, sometimes God provides in the form of a meal, a hug, helping my mother breathe through insane contractions, and then just showing up. And it may not be showing up physically, it may be showing up in a more distant text or message or something like that. So many of them I can't I can recall, but I can't call out everyone. So sometimes the miracle in the storm is not that the storm disappears, but God's people, in our instance, family and friends, close people, are with you in the middle of that storm. So then we move on and we actually are given towards Thursday evening. So this is his birth date. We're given a goal. We want one less machine. His numbers are improving. The new goal is that he get off of the pressurized breathing assistance. This gives us something specific to hope for, something specific to pray for, something specific to send out in a text, and something specific to watch for. So Thursday night, well, this whole thing is a blur, to be honest, but Thursday night was a blur. We had both sides of the grandparents, we had all the siblings, and I was able to help them in and out of the NICU. My wife and I could be in there together. We had to have a special bracelet. We could also, as one person, escort people in. So we were able to escort friends, well, family specifically, and during this time frame, um, anyone who wanted to see him or help him in his praying, and then also uh, in everybody wanted to see him, everybody wanted to help, everybody wanted to pray, and everybody was waiting for that goal. So that night probably was the quietest, loudest night um, that I've ever experienced. So that is his birth date into the night. We finally try and get some sleep. Sleep in that instance is virtually um, and probably absolutely impossible. For Christine's recovery, you have every 2 to 3 hours a check for vitals, bleeding, a heart rate, pain levels. Meanwhile, and it's funny, meanwhile has the word mean in it. And mean has multiple different, I mean, it's the average, but also mean is mean. You hear other babies in the hallway cooing and crying and being held by their parents. Um, and our reality is that this little man, AJ, should have been in our room, and he is still down the hall in the NICU unit. So there's a bit of envy in hearing those other babies, but not a bitter, jealous envy, just a feeling of our little man really should be here too. So let's fast forward to Friday morning. One less tube. Um, we get a little hospital breakfast, which was better than you think, but not as good as it should be. Let's be honest. Shout out to, is it Roku or Ruku? Ruku Coffee at Trinity. That coffee is pretty fine as well, pretty delicious. We were able to snag some coffee. We head back to the NICU to see AJ, and we enter, and his breathing assistance tube is gone. Um, my reaction, similar to right now, is I am was completely undone. There were continuous tears, overwhelming joy. The nurse and the nurse practitioner at different points in time are you okay, sir? I must have worn it all over my face. Sir, you might need to sit down. I we never thought that seeing one less tube would bring such a profound amount of joy. Again, we have that spiritual connection, that the peace that surpasses all understanding in Philippians 4:7, is not because everything is finished, not because we're heading home, not because everything and all the problems are solved, but because there is visible progress. I think that was very important. So finally, mom, Christine, my wife, finally gets to hold him. So the moment we've all been waiting for, that we've all been praying for, without breathing assistance, or with the breathing assistance removed, AJ can finally be held. It's the number one priority to get that skin to skin with mom. So Christine, she labored for hours. She pushed for 2+ hours. Watched her baby be taken away, waited while recovering, visited him without being able to hold him, and now she finally gets to hold her son. So that's about an hour plus skin to skin. I have pictures, they're private. Um, you'll never see them, but they are breathtaking, absolutely breathtaking. I see, and I'm I'm seeing Christine, but I'm also feeling along the same way, the joy, the peace, the relief, the love. I'm seeing that all over her face, for sure. And my little man responds to mom and snuggles up. And for almost, again, 2 days, we touched, we caressed, we, through the wires and the tubes, were able to see him. And AJ is exactly where he's supposed to be, on mama's chest. Um, I always knew my girl was strong, but this week, oh my gosh, seeing her and all that she endured, that level of strength is definitely leveled up. So let's move to Friday. That's Friday, 11 a.m. So we have scheduled feedings now: 8, 11, 2, and 5 a.m. and p.m. So that was the 11 a.m. 2 p.m. is when I had a turn to do the skin to skin. Um, and I can't tell you, somebody who does struggle with anxiety, any amount of anxiety that I've ever felt in my life lifted. Weight of the world lifted off shoulders. Again, I needed like 3 shirts, because we could wring them out with my tears, happy tears, thank God. Um, Better than any feeling in the world that I know of. And kind of as we followed that schedule, 8, 11, 2, and 5, that's 3-hour gaps through the whole day, AM and PM. We're now involved in feeding and cleaning and diapers and bringing sporadic visitors and bringing family in. And then we move to Saturday afternoon. That is August 22nd. Doctor comes in. Christine is going to be released. And now what do? We can stay in the room. They offer the room to us at a real easy $800 to $1,000 a night, through insurance. Or he suggested and offered, what a blessing from God. He offered the NICU nest. They call it a nesting room. So there's one room, kind of like a hotel room, where we were being assisted and helped and observed in the 8, 11, 2, and 5 a.m. and p.m. Feeding and cleaning schedule. So one of the coolest parts of this experience was the NICU gives you a book that you can read to the little man. And ours was Where the Wild Things Are, Where the Wild Things Go, whatever, wild things. We had all of the nurses that helped in delivery and all of the nurses that helped in the NICU day in and night sign and uh, kind of write. It was kind of like a yearbook, write AJ a little something. It was extremely special. We have beautiful sentiments from, I don't know, a dozen or more staff there. Through that, we were able to, God is so good, get to know some of the staff and the nurses and pray over and pray with some of the staff. So we, were there obviously for selfish reasons to um, get our son, but the opportunity and several times we were pricked in the heart to pray over some of the nurse. We had a nurse who um, lost a child recently, so we were able to imagine working in the um, postpartum department, seeing these beautiful babies every single day, and you um, lost one of yours. So we were able to pray over her and connect with several staff members there. We spent Saturday evening into Sunday morning in that NICU nesting area, able to uh, kind of be the nurses, be the mom and dad that we wanted and needed to be. Um, then that very next morning, I would say probably closer to noon, Sunday morning, the 23rd, I think it is. We pack everything up, put the little man in the car, and I drove the slowest and most protective I think I've ever driven in my life. Um, I almost went all scenic route and didn't go on any highways or anything, but I was like, we got to get home. So we got home. So I'll leave you with that. We got home. We were so blessed. Part of this video is for me, just breaking down this information and from my own mental. In no way, shape, or form am I comparing um, anybody's experience, especially like the young girl next to us in the NICU unit. NICU was, I don't know, something like 25 or 31 days preemie, and a lot of people have it and had it significantly more difficult than we have. We are blessed beyond measure. I make no comparison to that. Some people have lost their kids, um, their babies. I make no comparison. Um, just wanted to give you kind of a play-by-play of uh, the Lord and His blessing and His peace and a life update without, again, in no way, shape, or form am I disregarding what other people have gone through. I know it can be a lot more difficult, um, but this was a beast for us for sure. I thank all of you who um, were involved in praying, and all of you who maybe didn't even know you were involved in some way, shape, or form. So um, just I kind of leave you with that as a life update. We'll get back to the normal episodes about the Sermon on the Mount, but I wanted to leave you with or bring you along our journey, and hopefully we got something out of this. Um, and I hope it wasn't trite. Um, Philippians 4:7 is uh, will always be very different for me now, having lived through this. And I thank you so much for this long video and your attention, and just blessing in general. God is so good. Remember to stay sharp and stay in God's word. God bless you, and thank you.